Hey everyone, and welcome back to the NPC Dungeon. Today, as promised, I'm talking about character motivation. Now, obviously, this one is directed more toward players than DMs, and it's all about giving your character a reason to interact with the story. Indeed, that's actually how I define character motivation in D&D. You can have the coolest character ever, but if they don't have a reason to do anything, it will be difficult to find a reason to engage with the story and interact with any of the encounters set before you. I touched a little on this in my videos on character backstory, keeping the game going as a player, and playing your character, but today I'm really going to go in depth with it. So let's get started and let's learn something. The first thing that I want to say about character motivation goes right back to the definition that I gave just a moment ago. Try to figure out why your character is adventuring in a broad sense. Did they get thrust into this life unintentionally? Are they on their run? Do they seek fame, power, knowledge, retribution, revenge, or something else? As you can see, this ties right in with backstory. I like to use backstory as inspiration for motivation. For example, if your character grew up in a church or a temple of some kind, maybe they want to spread the goodwill of their faith throughout the land, helping people in need because it's what their religious doctrine teaches. At this stage, I tried to think pretty broadly. Instead of looking at a particular goal, I try to look at the kind of person they are, the kind of personality they have, and come up with a very broad principle that they live by and that they are motivated by so they can have a reason to act and a reason to engage with the story. This also gives them a totally unique way of interacting with the story as well. For example, the lawful good paladin who tries to embody love and kindness would have a very different approach to rescuing an NPC from a monster's den than a more jaded rogue, for example. And then I look into the backstory and try to pick out a specific thing that this character might actually want, some specific goal. A holy paladin, for example, might have been tasked with vanquishing some evil, and a jaded rogue might want to lose a bounty that's been placed on their head by a crime boss they owe a lot of money to, just for a few examples. And then you can get into the specifics of why they want it. For the paladin, it could be an honor passed down by their family, or a way to become closer to their god, or seek glory. A rogue trying to shake a bounty might only want to stay alive. This may sound redundant or repetitive, as yes, you will be thinking a lot about the broad motivation that I mentioned earlier, but this step is super important as it helps you to reinforce how your character will behave and interact with the story in the specific context of the goal that you gave them a moment ago. That broad motivation, while helpful, is still just that, broad. This helps you to really zero in on specific and actionable motivations and behaviors that can help you situation to situation and encounter to encounter. You can also ask yourself, what are the means by which your character wants to achieve this goal? What are their plans and ideas? What kinds of ideas would they come up with and have based on who they are, what they've been through, and what their strengths are? And even then, what lines are they unwilling to cross? What would they be unwilling to do? And what would going too far look like for them? And also, how would they react to seeing somebody else go too far? While not every single scenario you may think of will happen, this gives you a lot to pull from when actually playing your character, when your character is faced with different scenarios, and when interacting with NPCs and the other players. And this is honestly one of the really fun parts of making a character, really getting into their mindset and thinking about how they might react to different scenarios. But in D&D, things change, circumstances change, and plans change, so it's important to consider how your character will react to that. How would they feel if their life's goal is pulled just out of their grasp? How would they feel if they achieve it? What if the paladin finally vanquishes the evil they were tasked with destroying? And what if the rogue finally shakes the debt? What if they can't? This is where it's important to think about their needs as well. And I don't mean food, water, sleep, and so on. I'm talking about their emotional needs, their character growth. They may achieve their want, but what if they need to learn to trust people? What if they need to learn to let go of previous baggage? Keep all of this in mind and use it to help your character grow throughout the story and to motivate them to grow throughout the campaign. And lastly, work with your DM. A good DM will find ways to work the motivation you derive from your backstory into the overall story. If you're playing a paladin trying to vanquish some ultimate evil, your DM might make that ultimate evil the final boss. If you're a rogue trying to pay off a debt, your DM might say that the reward for beating the bad guy will be enough. And there are many ways of doing this as well, depending on your specific character and the campaign you're playing in. The point is that working with and communicating with your DM helps them give you opportunities in the campaign to use your motivations and to really play your character. And that's it for this week. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you really liked it, and comment down below if you have any feedback, think I missed a really important point, or just want to say hi. I try to respond as often as I can. I post new DM advice videos on Fridays, so come back next Friday, where I'll be talking about getting into D&D and sharing some tips that I have for newer players. Again, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out two of my previous videos appearing on your screen right about now, and until next time, let's learn something.